Chris did say this to be quite interactive, so I'm going to hang out with the microphone. So if you have any questions as we go along, here. So we have two riders riding with us today. So we have Steffi on her mare Eclipse, who only started eventing a few months ago, and so she's still green, the mare, not Steffi. She has a few years' experience as a show jumper, and Steph rates her as an excellent character, very character. Steph herself has competed up to 5-star and has worked in full-time stables up until 2020, full-time performance stables. She's had a career change due to status issues with her last horse, but she's now very excited to have this young mare and would like to train her as far as possible. Our second rider, she's riding Canter. Her New Zealand red off track. She brought her over from New Zealand with her. And she's gone from never having jumped before to competing in 1-star eventing. Christine herself has broken in star horses for many years, but then returned to go on soft on. In the last year, since moving from New Zealand to Australia, she's focused on her own horses a lot more, and she's now competing in 1-star. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Chris. By the way, if you like a shirt, they're available in the merchandise from shirts and hats. It'd be really great if you bought some.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and good to see people here. I'm not sure if those of you who are up in the seats have been out on the course walk. I see one or two of you who have. I'm not sure if you've been here yesterday evening, and so if you have been yesterday evening and you've been on the course walk, then I would say the best thing about this will be repetition. Repetition until the system is automatic. Now, I'm just going to make a slight modification or whatever to this fence on my left, because it's obviously a little bit on the large side for what we're going to do. But at the same time, I'm going to use this pole to make a demonstration. What you might do, Verena, is put this down maybe to 5 holes, but I'll take the pole with me. Just taking the pole, yep. So what I'm going to do with this pole, assuming this is strong enough to take it, I'm going to balance this pole on top of the other pole. So when I've found the perfect point of balance, I'm going to move it a millimeter and stabilize it. And when I have found this point of balance, this pole should stay there forever. Of course, it's always a little bit difficult. It takes a millimeter sometimes to achieve that point of balance. I pretty much got it now. So if I now take a bit of sand and put that sand just in front of the point of balance here, and you start to see the pole tilting. If I put a little bit more sand a bit further forward here, and it'll start to change more rapidly. And so that is to show you, in effect, how sensitive balance is. So I've been talking all the time about the importance of balance. Balance and impulsion give your horse options. Now clearly, I've blown that sand off. The pole is coming back into balance on its own. Yeah? And so what I'm saying to the riders is, and no matter how svelte and beautiful and slim somebody looks, they weigh a bit more than that little bit of sand. So no matter whether you're a 6'6" guy weighing 100 kilos, or whether you're a Rolls Canter knee-high to a grasshopper weighing 45 kilos, if you're in front of the point of balance, you're going to upset the horse's balance. So in the approach to a fence, we want balance, but we also want impulsion. This pole could go back on there, Marina, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah. Impulsion. Impulsion, my description of impulsion, explanation of impulsion is momentum compressed. So when we have a coiled spring, yeah, that coiled spring lying on the table has no impulsion, there's no energy in it. In order to create energy, we have to compress that spring. One way of compressing it is holding it at one end and pushing it at the other. That is what I sometimes refer to when we're in training in the working light seat, and I'll come on to that maybe in a bit more detail shortly. But in the working light seat, I sometimes say kick and hold, kick and hold. So we are activating the hind leg as we ride the horse into a little bit more contact, as we get the horses supple in the pole, that they close their body up. Yeah, so you can imagine a horse cantering along, strung out from A to Z, and you can imagine another horse closed from behind into a bit more of a rubber ball shape, and that is the coiled spring that we require as we come to a fence. But that coiled spring must be one which is in balance, therefore I don't want to over-shorten the front end and make the horse short in front and long behind the saddle, because that is then going to upset their balance. I want to have the withers up, pole up, nose forward, with an engaged hind leg, and the rider sitting above or preferably slightly behind the point of balance, because as the horse, as you can imagine, decelerates in order to take off, the rider must not at that point overtake the horse and come in front of the point of balance. So this morning in walking the course, yesterday evening in talking the demo, I was always talking about riders needing to sometimes slip the rein in order to allow more horse in front of them, in order to come a little bit behind the point of balance, and to keep the elbow close to the body. So this will be a constant theme within this training. I'll be saying to the riders, slip the rein. That doesn't mean abandon the contact. We still need a connection, but on a longer rein. And there was a question that came up in conversation on the course walk this morning and also last night. We hear instructors often shouting, shorten the reins, shorten the reins. My response is very often to say, if short reins was the answer, why shouldn't we hold the bit ring? And so shorter reins are not always the answer. Now you can have the reins too long, because you can end up with your arm behind your body pulling backwards. The ideal scenario is where the upper arm is hanging at the vertical. So if I'm in a steeplechase jockey going in a steeplechase, then I'm in a forward position like that, I'm galloping along like that, my elbows are hanging at the vertical from my shoulder, and my hands are under my eye. As I gradually come upright and in a preparation position, then my tailbone comes under, I come into a squat position, my arm must be at the vertical still, and then as I come more and more up to the vertical, then my elbow is hanging from the shoulder still. Now, I wouldn't want to come any further back than there. I don't want my upper body behind the vertical. And so as we come into the contact seat, I don't want to see a rider, and we saw a couple this morning, end up being behind the vertical with the upper body, sitting in the saddle, having a driving influence with their seat, just at a moment when we actually wanted to bring the horse into balance and help the horse to close from behind. So, to repeat again, and perhaps this is more for Christine and Steph, we have 4 seat positions. We have the racing position I just demonstrated. We have the light seat. We have the contact seat. And we have the landing position. I shied away from the little one in the middle because I don't trust the cups. Here I'm in contact seat. I'm in contact with the saddle. Yeah? Here I'm in a dressage seat. I'm totally at the vertical. If I now shorten my stirrups, so now you can see my stirrups are a lot shorter. So I'm still in a contact seat, but with shorter stirrups I have to have a more forward inclination of the body in the contact seat than when I have the longer stirrups. So when I say contact, it doesn't mean come back to there. It means be there, because from there I can go directly into the light seat just by taking pressure into the stirrup. Whereas if I'm here, I first have to lean forward and then come up. So important is that we don't disturb the balance. So if I'm here in the contact seat and then go light seat, then no balance has changed. And we've talked there about racing position, light seat, contact seat, and then I refer to the landing position where you're jumping down a step, oops, and landing into your stirrup, and landing and squatting and going away from the fence, not landing on the horse's neck. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with these 2 riders is to see you working in canter. And what I'd like to do, we'll worry about the landing position shortly when we start jumping, but I'd like you to alternate between light seat and contact seat. And in your light seat, it's not a passive light seat, it's a working light seat. I use my seat muscles, I use my leg, I sometimes say kick and hold, kick and hold, kick and hold, bunch the horse up. And this is where length of stirrup can have an influence. But if I see Christine at the end there on the chestnut horse, for me, I would recommend slightly shorter stirrups, which would enable her to have more of an engaging, compressing effect in the working light seat. I would also say that to Steph. But let's not, if you can easily shorten your stirrups a couple of holes, then I would do that. Perhaps as well, Steph. And what we'll do while we're changing the stirrups, I'm just going to put these poles out on the floor. I used these yesterday as a way of, I call it calibrating the canter stride. So by putting these poles out at 20 meters apart, that's correct where it is, because that one was a little bit this way. Just one end. Okay, just slight adjustment to this one. When I stride out 22 yards, that in effect is 20 meters. Okay, so the idea of this little exercise, using the working light seat, working the canter, I want to get 5 strides between the poles. So Christine there, she's a little bit on the forehand. Tighten your tailbone under, keep your elbows by your upper body. Look at the next one, bigger canter, bigger canter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay upright at the pole. Right, so what we want to achieve is balance as well as impulsion. So as you come to the pole, keep your fist closed, don't soften your body. Yeah, as you come to the pole, I want you to look high, don't look down at the pole, look right to the end of the arena, keep the canter, close your fist, and stay up in your body. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I use this exercise, I sometimes say, to calibrate the canter stride. So you found out that time, Christine, that you were traveling too fast. Yeah, you didn't have that compression. So working light seat, try and bring the withers up in the light seat, kick and hold, keep the big round canter, that's better. Stay in that position, hold the canter. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So that's an exercise. We'll change the rein now, Christine, and maybe go the other way. Steph, of course, your horse is naturally in a better balance than Christine's. She gallops a bit on her front end. Yeah? So without shortening your rein, get your tailbone under and have a feeling that the front end is coming up. A bit like when we had this pole here and I had the sand on one end. Yeah? The other end was coming up. And that's what we want. So come on the right rein, working light seat, light seat, big canter, keep the withers up, working canter, work the canter, work the canter, work the canter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was better. Do that once more and see if you can get the even 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. Good. So Steph, take a break. We'll do one more with Christine. And hold the balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Okay. Take a break there, Christine. We can put the poles to the side. I'm not going to spend the whole session doing that, but you can see that that is an exercise that would be useful to you to improve the balance as well as have the right amount of impulsion. If you go empty in the canter and do 6 strides or even 7 between there, then you haven't got enough impulsion. If you have the momentum and you can get the 5, you still need to have the connection, otherwise you find it goes on the forehand and trips up over the pole when you get there. Yeah? When they do this exercise perfectly, they get the even 5 strides between the poles and the hind legs don't straddle the pole. Yeah? The hind legs remain on the correct side of the pole and they execute, as did Steph's horse, a nice shape over the pole. Yeah? So it's always, when I'm training at home, I always have this exercise set up around my big arena as a starting point for when they're working in, and they can work on the preparation to jump by working on that. Once we can achieve the 5-stride canter between the cavaletti, then I can up the pace a bit more and do 4 strides between the poles in balance. and I can do 5 strides between the first 2 and then 6 between the second 2. I can play with that exercise a little bit to be able to adjust the stride length, which is what I refer to when I walk the course and talk about this combination. This fence requires you to change gear and go from 6th to 5th to 4th to 3rd to 2nd gear or whatever, depending on the tightness of the turn and the complexity of the combination. So just as with driving a car, you've got to come into the village in the right gear, be able to pass the parked cars and turn right at the crossroads at the end of the village or something like that. So you've got to be all the time in the right gear, looking ahead, planning ahead. Yeah? And what we talked about at the beginning is don't, just as you get there, soften your body and give the hand away and tip yourself onto her front end. She's already a bit too much on her front end. You have to think all the time, you're sitting in row 24. Can you sit further back in the saddle now? Sit on the cantle. No, I don't mean lean back. I want to sit on the cantle. But yeah, sit on the cantle. Yeah, sit on the cantle. There. Now have your lower leg at the vertical. There. That's right. Now lean forward. There. So there you are in balance, but you're behind her center of balance. And you can go easily into a light seat there without having to tip forward. You can just take the pressure into your stirrup. Yeah? So when you make contact with the saddle, make contact at the back, but don't lean back and end up pushing. And then at the same time you can keep the connection to the front end, and as we're jumping the fence, you keep 2/3 of the horse in front of you. Okay? So, we're going to start to do a little bit of jumping, and this is when I start to focus on the landing position. So let's start, Steph, I think we'll start with yourself. Yeah? And what I suggest you do is come initially on the left rein, sorry, I beg your pardon, off on the right rein, and come to this one here, and then land and turn left. Yeah, and then you could come to that fence over there, and then by a curving line out towards Proudly Sponsored By, to then jump this one here. So this morning I've been talking a lot about Doris. I'll explain to those of you who know who Doris is, but Doris is the point that you're aiming at behind the fence. So as you jump this one, you're aiming at this horse's head. As you come to this one, you're aiming at Sydney International Equestrian Centre. So I always say, find the fence, find the line, look behind the fence. When you come to this one, dead straight, you're looking at the letter S of Wales. Once you've achieved the line, you don't have to keep staring at S. I could turn the neck now to the left, but be aware that S is still there and keep my horse straight. But as I turn my neck, my body language is saying, I'm going to turn left. So then the horse will pick it up from your body language and land left. Yeah? Whereas if you keep your eye there until you've landed, the horse doesn't know whether you're going to go left or right. So coming round there, you look for S. Once you've got, and again from a dressage test point of view, center line, the judge is S. Once you've got the center line, you can turn your neck, and as you come in here, you're keeping the horse straight, but you're looking to the left to go around that fence there. Okay? And then each time, good in your landing position. Yeah? So that sometimes means slip the rein and land into your feet. So you say, let's go. So get a bit of impulsion, let's go. Get that 5 canter that we had before, let's go. That's right, turning your neck. Find the letter S. Let's go. Good. Now think of your landing position. Yeah. So just try to have the rein a fraction longer next time when you get to the fence, so you don't have to push your arms up the neck. Slip the rein a bit, think of the landing position, hands down. Okay, what's happening there is you're looking for your distance. So you come round the corner and you start saying, I'm looking for a stride. I'd like you looking for the joint between the black and the blue, the word proudly. Yeah? Find the fence, find the line. Longer rein, let her poke her nose. Allow her, keep the rhythm, only the rhythm. Let her poke her nose. Landing position, correct, good. And then just let her neck out a bit longer again. I know what you're finding with her, I believe, is that she gets a bit strong. Yeah? When you were doing the 5 strides, you maintained a lovely rhythm and you didn't get too picky about it. Now I think you're trying to organize too much. Yeah? So try to find the fence, find the line, keep an even rhythm, leave the neck longer, let her use her eyes, let her judge her distance, let her poke her nose, let her look, let her see it, keep the rhythm, don't change anything. Landing position now, look at the next one, look at the sign on the door at the end, don't look at the jump, don't look at the jump. Right, better, good. So I say there in training, don't look at the jump, look at something behind it. It takes mentally your eye away from thinking I've got to get the stride right, I've got to get the stride right, and then you break the rhythm too much. Yeah, that was much smoother, the whole thing. Can we do the same thing there? Yeah. Now as you set off, yeah, get the impulsion first by getting the momentum. That 5-stride canter, bigger canter, bigger canter. That's right. Slip your rein a bit, they're too short. Bring your hands back behind the sheepskin. That's right. And then look to your left, shoulders back. Correct. You try and keep your shoulders back a bit more. You tipped forward a bit too much over the fence. Imagine you're just jumping down a step. Keep the hands down the sheepskin. Let her poke her nose. Stay behind the point of balance. Hands down, look at the sign at the end of the arena. Correct, good. Well done, that was good. You started off a bit nervous. You didn't know what might happen. You didn't want to make a mess in front of the audience. It's normal, you're a human being, yeah? You don't want to have egg on your face. But then as you went along, you got confident, this system is working, yeah? Find the fence, find the line, yeah? And try all the time to use her positivity to your advantage. Yeah? She's saying, yes, I've seen the fence, yes, I can see it. She's not running away with you, but she gets confused when you say, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then you get to the point where you say, I can't continue like this, right? So now I'd like you to start on the other rein. We'll just do the same sort of thing. Come off the left rein, do this one, go round the back, and then do that one, followed by that one. And then having done that one, I want you to come round and come to this one. Now when you're coming to this one, off the turn from the pale blue, you're going to jump it actually on a slight angle towards the word Wales. Yeah? And so you're making the turn here, saying, okay, I'm looking at Wales. So you're doing it at a slight angle, but you're only interested in that sign and that line there. You're not getting picky to your distance. Okay? Off you go. So I'll say each time, landing position. You have to adopt the landing position before takeoff. You have to slip the rein and keep your feet in front of you there. Okay. Look up, look up, look up, look up, look up. Correct. Be careful there, you tipped over the neck. Remember, you're jumping down an imaginary step. Now lean forward into a racing position. We're going across country, remember? That's right, you can crouch down, you can crouch down. You can crouch down with your weight in your right stirrup. Now look with your head to the right, find the fence, find the line. Don't pull on the inside rein. Now let her poke her nose. Don't break this rhythm. Don't break the rhythm. Just right. If she gets a bit enthusiastic, just come up with your body. Okay. Just be careful you don't go to an argument with the mouth. Your body language can say, don't rush. Yeah, you're just by coming a bit more upright. Now look at that word. Look at the word. Right, good. Just go on down the long side, racing position, and do those two on that side once more. Now you're going cross country. Get down over the neck. That's right. Now start turning your neck. Look for the fence. Keep going in racing position. Don't interfere yet. Don't interfere yet. Now let the neck be longer. Now come up to the landing position. And then look for the door, the sign on the door. Right, good. Okay. Only comment there, just come back quietly to walk. You may in the audience have seen it, but the upper body went a bit too forward over that fence there. Yeah, partly I suspect because it was the last fence of the line. So the last fence is as important as the first fence. Yeah? Always land like that, don't land like that. Yeah? Remember my little bit of sand on the pole and the effect that it had. Yeah? Okay, understood? So let's see. First of all, say, let's go. Be positive in your body language. That's right. Let's go. Now turn your neck, look for the fence. Good. Now look to the sign behind the fence. Come back with the shoulders, shoulders back. Very good with your upper body. Now lean forward, let's go. That's right, don't worry about what leg you're on, that doesn't matter. Good, keep your elbows in. Now balance for the corner. Again, it doesn't matter what lead you're on, just keep the balance. Now slip your rein a little bit longer, shoulders back, back, back. Your body was too forward, shoulders back, 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 back. Yeah, so what happened there on the turn, I suspect, in that turn, you weren't focused on the line behind the fence, you were staring down at the fence. So then you started to get picky with your hand here, so she got a confusing signal. Are we going, are we not? Yes, no, yes, no. So go back there and jump that one, and then turn and look at the word proudly sponsored, and as you come towards it, slip the rein, come up with your body, and keep the same rhythm. Find the fence, find the line, let her poke her nose, shoulders back. Good, now look at that word, look at the word, look at the word. Right, good, correct. And then you go on to the next. Good, and look at the word. Right, well done. You tipped forward a little bit over the last one. You were celebrating, I sometimes say, when a rider jumps the last fence and accelerates to the finish and pumps the air. Yeah, yes, I've done it, yeah. Right, yeah. So it was interesting to see the moment you took your eye off the fence and looked at something behind it, she got confidence.
And
yeah.
it always goes left.
Yeah. Always goes left, so you've got to focus on the straightness then, yeah? And then you're not pulling on the right rein to keep her straight. Just keep them straight, as you would do in the dressage arena, with your eye, you stare at the judge with your seat and leg, keeping the horse straight, yeah? Not pulling on one rein to keep them straight, okay? So, next little exercise, how are we doing for time, by the way? Who's my time? 5 minutes, okay. So we'll do the next exercise, which is what I call a simulated coffin. Yeah? So what we have here is the potential that the horse could spook at the water tray. So when you're coming round here, first of all, you're looking through the posts to the seat up in the gallery there. You're looking at something behind the fence. You're not looking at the fence. You come round here, you've got your line, and in your body language, you're going to come up with your body, leaving the neck long, allowing the horse to jump while your eye stays all the time on that point there. And that will mean that your body will stay in that position all the while. You won't go forward and back and forward and back. over each element, even as I put this higher and higher and higher. Okay? So I want you to come off the left rein, and we'll start off this time jumping this one here, just to get you into gear, then go around the outside, and then come on the left rein to a simulated coffin. As you're coming down the side there, as you would do on the cross country, you've got to use your outside rein, slight counterflexion, to get the straightness and to get the canter prepared and balanced. And then you come round here, you see your seat up in the audience there, you slip the rein, you keep your eye on the ball, and each time landing position as you go down the line. Okay? And then you turn away to the right. Okay, and then what you might do in your case is then come down here and jump this one here. Again, you can see a point, that horse's head on the sign, and you're going to look at that, not at the fence. Okay? Look around, lean forward, say, let's go. Let's go. This is fun. It's eventing. Let's go. That's right. Slightly longer rein. Yeah, slip the rein a little bit. Good. Look at the word behind the fence. Don't break the rhythm. Don't break the rhythm. You're taking a few half halts too many there. Now lean forward. You're going cross country. Come on, you say. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And then you're going down here, a little bit control on the outside rein. You're looking to the left, looking for that seat in the stands. Let the nose forward. You're a bit picky with your hand there. Okay. Now lean forward. Let's go. Good. Now look for the sign at the end. Now let your poker nose slip the rein. Don't interfere. Okay, so I'd like you to go round the outside and do this one once more. And over the fence, imagine yourself just jumping down a step. You were jumping over the fence. I'd like to see you just jumping down a step. Keep the rhythm, keep the momentum, and don't break this rhythm. Don't break this rhythm. Just start to come up. Don't take on her mouth. That's right, don't break the rhythm. Don't break the rhythm. Yeah, you're still a little bit, I have to say, throwing your body forward over the fence. Okay, take a break, Steph. See what I mean there about that? Yeah? Don't throw the body over the fence. Yeah. So just imagine what it's like on the cross-country course when you jump down a step. You jump down a step that way, you don't jump down a step that way.
Do you want us like pressing on the base of the neck?
You can, if that helps you. Press down on the sheepskin. That'll help you to stop pulling your arms up in the air. Yeah? These little ideas are sometimes helpful. Find the fence, find the line, look to something behind it. Don't break the rhythm. Just keep the balance. Here you say, let's go. Let's go. That's right. You're going down the long side. That's right. You're on the cross-country course. You're coming to the next fence. You're looking over your left shoulder, controlling on the outside rein. Keep that rhythm. Now slip the rein a little bit. Look at the sign. Don't look at anything else. Right. Make sure your body stays back. You're jumping down a step, remember. Keep your elbow in by your side. Control on the outside rein. The reins are getting a bit short. Keep the hand by the sheepskin. Keep your hands down by the sheepskin. Look at the seat in the stand, shoulders back, shoulders back. So in the approach there, you needed to slip the rein a little bit more and bring your shoulders back because as she decelerated, you overtook her. Yeah? And at that point in time, you've got in front of the point of balance. So what you have to do in your case is slightly exaggerate the slipping of the rein in order to stay behind the point of balance. Come to this one again, so start coming down the long side. No, you're not enough. We need 2/3 of your horse in front of you. You know, I use the analogy of being on a plane. You've got to be sitting in row 24, right at the back of the plane. Longer rein, longer rein, longer rein. That's right, longer rein, there. Now look high, keep your shoulders back, shoulders back, shoulders back, shoulders back, shoulders back. Yeah, good. Let's do it again. It just needed you to believe in her a little bit. You got interfering with your hands here. Yeah. You're shortening the rein again, aren't you? Put the hands back to the sheepskin. Push the hands down on the sheepskin. Right. Now start looking for that seat in the sand. Don't sit down, just stay upright. Upright, yeah. Okay, so you heard me say as you came to it, don't sit down. We'll do it one more time. When I say come up, don't sit down and sit in the saddle. Stay with the pressure in your stirrup. Okay? Do it one more time. Yeah. And let the neck be longer. Allow her to jump forward. Here you can be light seat. Come on. Light seat. There. That's right. Now slip the rein a bit. Let her poke her nose. Let her poke her nose. Let her poke her nose. Get there. Get there. Get there. Right, good. Round of applause, please. Well done. Good. So, it's easy, of course, to say it from here. Yeah? Okay, never mind. Keep it simple. Find the fence, find the line, look over the fence, sit in row 24. If in doubt, sit in the toilet. Yeah? Let the horse poke the nose, let them take their head and neck through the flags. Yeah, but as you're landing, you've got to be landing in that position. Yeah? Not in a leaning forward over the neck. There, more that position. There. Correct. Yeah? Tuck your butt under. Don't stick your bum out and lean forward over the neck. All right, well done. Of course, what we haven't done is all the technical lines, but I felt today the first important thing is to emphasize the point of principle about keep the rhythm. Yeah, balance, impulsion, rhythm are the important things. And then the horse can focus on their job. Yeah? Okay? Well done.